it's going to be a wild ride. $4,000 gold. Are you worried about the gold price and the silver price? What if one of the most respected names in the sector, he founded a Swedish company with over 40,000 investors specializing in silver and gold? What if he said that the price of gold should be $4,000 right now? We're going to talk about that in this video because I think that'll make you feel real good. And when you listen to his logic, it will make sense. But the other thing that makes sense is the fact that you've joined me here in the basement today. And I want to say thank you for giving me your time. I want you to know you're part of the group. You're welcome here, basement dwellers. Please subscribe to the channel. Give the video a thumbs up. We can get the word out to more people. And super chats and super thanks are always super appreciated. Now let's talk about this $4,000 gold price that we should have right now. This comes from our friends at Kitco, and our favorite author, Niels Christensen, says, with all the debt in the world, gold will only look overbought when prices push above $4,000 per ounce. That's according to AUAG's Eric Strand. The gold market continues to consolidate above $2,500 an ounce. Haven't we noticed that, guys? Doesn't it feel like, at least recently, $2,500, at least for now, has become like a floor, a platform from which the price of gold can launch much higher? It feels that way with silver as well, maybe in that $28, $27 per ounce range also. Here's a picture of Eric. He's the founder of the boutique precious metals firm AUAG Funds. They're in Sweden. They have over 40,000 investors. This guy knows gold and silver like nobody else. He said that given the level of money printing and sovereign debt, he sees gold's fair value right now at about $4,000 per ounce, but he has a lot more to say, and it is super interesting. We may see some volatility in gold at the current price. We've talked about that, guys. Peter Grandich has talked about this. We could see gold drop down to even $2,350 per ounce. And that consolidation, that continued building of a base is not necessarily a bad thing. Doesn't mean that it will happen or that it has to happen, but if it does, it will be no reason for us to be alarmed. And the same thing is true with silver. Eric goes on to say, but we think that anything below $4,000 per ounce for gold is cheap. He said, long term, the market is nowhere close to being overvalued. In green, although the central bank's money supply has dropped sharply as the Fed has aggressively tightened its monetary policy, Strand noted that printing hasn't stopped as the U.S. debt has ballooned to more than $35 trillion. Any short trip out to the U.S. debt clock can confirm that. They may need to update this article soon, as that number will be at $36 trillion. Quote, the players may have changed, but the printing and the paper remain the same. Unicorn, fart dust, paper, U.S. dollars. Make-believe, fantasy land. Strand explained that the only time gold was slightly overvalued was 2011. Although the Federal Reserve pushed interest rates to zero and introduced quantitative easing for the first time in history, government debt was still relatively under control at that time. In blue, because in 2011, the debt to GDP ratio was around 95%. Last year, debt represented 122% of GDP. After hitting an all-time high above $1,900 an ounce, gold struggled through a 6-year bear market. However, looking ahead, Strand said he doesn't expect the gold market to experience a repeat of those years, and I would agree with that as well. Do you agree with that? Do you think that we need to go through another bear market before this next big move up in the precious metals? I don't think so. I think things really are different. Numbers don't lie, guys. And the fact that we've got this unbelievably horrible fiscal situation in this country, the national debt, the deficits, everything else, Also, what's going on with the BRICS? We are in a different environment than we were 14 years ago. No doubt about it. Okay. He says there's no political incentive to stop printing money. We don't hear from either party any ideas that they want to address the national debt or the deficit situation. Strand noted that although the Federal Reserve has aggressively raised rates to bring down inflation pressures, the global increase in deficit spending means consumer prices are unlikely to remain subdued for very long. Inflation is coming, another wave. Inflation comes in waves. We will have another massive wave of inflation in 2025. The current and upcoming Fed rate cuts will act as a catalyst to set off what will be a surprise to most people, but not to you and I, that we will have more inflation. At the end of the day, that is what will drive interest rates, schminterest rates, Fed schmed, right? Jerome Powell at the Federal Reserve, he's lost control over the gold price because what's going to drive the price now will be inflation. He says, that's why I'm a strong believer in gold and silver. They are the best protection against all the money printing. How do you feel about that? Leave a comment in the comment section. Although gold's momentum is waning at current prices, Strand views this as a short-term consolidation period, like we've talked about. He explained that with the Federal Reserve expected to cut interest rates next week, investors will begin to see the value in holding gold, even at these elevated prices. He's talking to you and your neighbors when he says Western investors are just starting to buy, as we can see in the gold-backed ETF funds. So there's plenty of room for them to diversify out of stocks and into gold. Buckle up, Buttercup. This next one is a killer. Gold is significantly underowned compared to its historic norms. The global allocation in gold is around 1%. If that normalizes to 5%, it would be transformative for the gold price. I hope you feel like me a lot better after reading that. Thanks again to our friend Niels Christensen at Kitco for that excellent piece of journalistic work. Guys, the future looks bright for silver and gold. If you want to get your hands on some silver or gold, please support channel sponsor Pimbex, Pimbex, Pimbex.com. You can get gold, you can get silver, you can get platinum group metals, you can get ultra competitive pricing. You got a great selection, and most importantly, it's a company you can trust, but you need to do your own due diligence. Just throw them into the mix next time you're looking to buy some silver, gold, or platinum online. And thank you to channel sponsor First Mining Gold and Fortuna Mining. You can learn about all these sponsors at their respective websites, to which I have a link in the description of this video. It's going to be a wild ride. $4,000 gold. That's coming from a guy who runs like a specialist gold and silver firm in Sweden. There's a reason why he's gained 40,000 investors in a very short period of time. Maybe because he knows a thing or two. I know you know a thing or two, and I'm going to look forward to seeing you next time here in the basement. Thank you so much for being here. Go watch another video. Please subscribe to the channel. Most important, I'll look forward to seeing you next time. Be well.